What would you do if the spy of your dreams turned out to be a real person and forced you to take part in an extremely dangerous mission? Would you risk everything you have to help him or prefer to stay at home, drinking tea with your cute cat? Let's start our story from the beginning. Somewhere in Greece, a young man named Argylle has a drink at the bar and approaches a beautiful woman. He passes by her bodyguard and asks her for a dance. She flirts with him and takes his hand. They start dancing, and Argylle is fascinated with the woman's moves. He lifts her up, and they amaze everyone at the bar. However, the woman is aware that Argylle is a super agent and that he came to the bar to kill her. She snaps her fingers, and immediately everybody aims their weapons at him. Displeased, Argylle hands his gun to the woman and looks around. Instead of saying his last words, he contacts his partner Kara. Being a genius hacker, she easily helps save Argylle, and he escapes the building. Kara picks him up, but Lagrange, the woman Argylle was going to kill, shoots at their car. When she sees that Argylle is not harmed, she bids him goodbye and drives away on her motorcycle. Argylle sees that Kara is injured and calls for help. His boss promises to send a rescue helicopter and tells Argylle to go after Lagrange. Argylle has no other choice but to take another car and start an intense car chase. Destroying everything in his way, he takes a successful shortcut and follows the woman, almost reaching his goal, but she manages to escape. Lagrange becomes nervous when Argylle continues the chase and makes a risky maneuver, causing him to damage his vehicle and nearly die in a car crash. The woman flees the scene, and Argylle is left empty-handed. He contacts his colleague Wyatt, who is enjoying his coffee, and tells him to continue the mission. After Wyatt takes a sip, he catches Lagrange right as she's on her way and arrests her. Argylle and Wyatt interrogate Lagrange and reveal the horrific truth. The terrorist woman works for Argylle's boss. Lagrange takes the poison from her necklace and instantly dies. When their boss tries to contact them, Wyatt and Argylle destroy their earpieces. Now, they are on their own and can't trust anyone but each other. This is how the famous writer Ellie Conway ends her latest book about Argylle. She participates in a public reading of her book and encourages the audience with her own writing experience. One man asks her about the fact that her books predict real-world events, but Ellie denies any connection to real spies. When another man asks if she is free tonight, Ellie replies that she already has plans. Alas, her plan is just spending time at home with her cat Alfie and working on a new book about Argylle. According to the plot, Argylle finds a way to destroy his former boss and the whole directorate once and for all. With the help of the best hacker in the world, he must find the silver bullet and use it to defeat his enemies. After these words, Ellie finishes her 5th book about the super spy. The next day, Ellie receives a call from her mom, who spent the night reading her draft and absolutely loved it. However, Ellie still needs to work on the final draft to make it better, and her mom offers to come for the weekend and help her. Ellie wants to add one more chapter to the final draft and thinks of a passionate kiss between Argylle and Miss Lee. No, it is not her style, and Argylle would never do something like that. But what would he do? To look for inspiration, Ellie decides to take Alfie and visit her parents herself. On the train, a beautiful man approaches her, but she tells him that the seat near her is already taken. For some reason, she doesn't want any romantic relationships and can't let people into her personal space. However, another weird man sits beside her without asking permission. He happens to be reading one of Ellie's books, but she doesn't inform him that she is its author. Anyway, after he finishes, he sees Ellie's photo on the cover and recognizes her. The eccentric man confesses to being a spy himself and tells Ellie that she is in danger. While Ellie struggles to associate the man with Argylle, he warns her that a group of assassins is after her, and he is going to become her protector. Right after that, a stranger approaches Ellie and asks for her autograph, but tries to kill her. The spy attacks and fights him, eliminating all the passengers on the train. Ellie keeps confusing her protector with Argylle, while he beats the assassins up one by one. Ellie doesn't understand what's going on or whether she can trust her savior or not. When all the killers are dead, Ellie is shocked and scared, but the spy tells her to follow him. She grabs Alfie and tries to escape, but other assassins are already on their way. The spy rushes to save her and fights the men in a tense and fierce battle. One of them tries to throw the spy out of the window, but Ellie's protector defeats him and throws him out of the window himself. They run to the next train car, where the rest of the killers attack them. The man throws Ellie into a bathroom and fights them, while Ellie feels like she is going crazy. When the spy eliminates some of the henchmen, he takes Ellie, and they run in another direction. The assassins are following them, and Ellie recognizes one of them as the man from her public reading. He tries to kill Ellie, but the spy hugs her and jumps out of the train with a parachute. Ellie faints and wakes up only in the man's cabin, where he finally introduces himself. His name is Aiden Wilde, and his life is pretty similar to Argylle's. For all the spies around the world, Ellie is some sort of a genius prophet because her books mirror the current world's events. That is why the bad spies from the division want to hunt her down. Aiden truly collaborated with a hacker named Bakunin to break the division system and obtain the silver bullet with all the information on its vicious leader, Ritter. But the hacker didn't show up, so now Aiden needs to take Ellie to London to find him. On the plane, Ellie starts to panic, but Aiden calms her down and helps her overcome her fear of heights. In London, he asks her to write one more chapter about where Argylle can find the hacker with the silver bullet. As she gets back to work, Ritter tracks her down and sends his best goons after her and Aiden. Ellie writes about Argylle and Wyatt finding an important clue leading to the hacker and deciphers the address they need, but Ritter and his team are already on their tail. Ellie and Aiden arrive at the location and search for clues. They find a secret stash with Bakunin's bag. There, they discover money, a key for a motorboat, and a notebook. Suddenly, a group of Ritter's goons appears and starts looking for Ellie. Due to Alfie's inability to remain hidden, their attempt to hide fails, and Ellie and Aiden have to fight for their lives again. As Ellie begins to see similarities between Aiden and Argylle's actions, Aiden emerges from their hiding place and engages in battle. He defeats the henchman and breaks through a wall to move into another room. A grenade lands in Ellie's hiding spot, but she quickly picks it up and throws it in Aiden's direction. He survives and prepares for a new battle. Another group of henchmen is already en route. Aiden ambushes them and takes down the henchmen one by one. He wants Ellie to confirm that all of them are dead by smashing their heads, but she is too kind for such brutality. They make their way to the rooftop and find an escape route. To reach the motorboat, they must jump from the roof, so Aiden throws Alfie first. The cat remains unharmed, so Ellie and Aiden jump after him and successfully escape the scene. Ritter becomes furious and decides to personally continue chasing them. Aiden and Ellie find a safe place and discuss their next course of action. Ellie's mental state scares her as she feels that hallucinations of Argylle are driving her crazy. While Aiden is in the bathroom, Ellie overhears his suspicious phone conversation. When Aiden mentions that Ellie should be killed, she believes he is a traitor and becomes genuinely scared. She takes Alfie, Bakunin's journal, and runs away. Ellie calls her parents and cries for help. They immediately fly to London to meet her. The surprise is that her father is actually Ritter from the division, but Ellie doesn't know that, so she tells them everything and shows her father Bakunin's notebook. Aiden bursts into their hotel room and threatens Ellie's parents. Ellie reveals the shocking truth that the people she loves most are actually not her parents. When her mother is about to kill her, Aiden shoots Ellie's mom, knocks Ritter out, and begs her to trust him. With a broken heart, Ellie has to leave Alfie in the hotel and follow Aiden. Aiden takes Ellie to France and introduces her to another Alfie, a man who works in the CIA and can help them. Alfie takes Ellie for a walk and shows her his secret room, where he tells her the truth about herself. Ellie didn't use her imagination to write her books. She used her hidden memories. In the past, she was a super agent named Rachel Kyle. Ellie freaks out and wants to leave, but Aiden attacks her and helps her awaken her forgotten fighting skills. While Alfie deciphers Bakunin's journal, Aiden tells Rachel about her past. She was the one looking for the silver bullet, but she disappeared before her meeting with Bakunin. Nobody knows what happened, but she woke up in the hospital, where she was found by the division. They had used manipulations and hypnosis to alter Rachel's memories and turn her into a completely different person. They encouraged her to become a writer and utilize her hidden memories for the Argylle stories. In the past, Rachel and Aiden were very close. In fact, Aiden was Rachel's Wyatt. Alfie manages to decipher the journal and discovers that the Keeper of Secrets, Sabah al-Badr, possesses the silver bullet with the archive they need. However, the only person who can retrieve it from her is Rachel Kyle. Rachel must confront her fears and self-doubt and embark on a dangerous spy mission. Dressed to impress, Aiden and Rachel head to the Arabian Peninsula and prepare to meet Sabah al-Badr. To calm Rachel's nerves, Aiden invites her to dance, and they reenact the scene from her book between Argylle and Lagrange. Aiden reveals that they had a romantic relationship before Rachel disappeared, and he still has feelings for her. They almost kiss, but Sabah al-Badr is already waiting for Rachel, so she goes to meet her alone. When Sabah al-Badr confronts and threatens Rachel, she sees Argylle for the last time. Now, she no longer needs him and can finally reclaim her true identity. Rachel retrieves the silver bullet and uses a computer to access the archive's files. One of the files shocks her, and she wants to ask Aiden about it. They are interrupted by Rachel's fake mother, Ruth. She survived after Aiden shot her and has come to meet Rachel and invite her for a conversation. They have some tea and discuss the files from the silver bullet. The truth is that Rachel was actually working for the division and killed Bakunin. Suddenly, Ruth, Aiden, and Rachel fall asleep after drinking spiked tea. When Rachel wakes up, she sees Ritter burning the silver bullet. He asks her to help him interrogate Aiden to find out Alfie's location. Rachel agrees to help, but when she sees her cat, she doesn't show any emotions or feelings. She enters the interrogation room and questions Aiden about Alfie, but he tries to remind her of the feelings they had for each other. It doesn't work, and Rachel shoots Aiden. While she assists Ruth and Ritter in tracking down Alfie, Aiden wakes up, knocks out his guards, and takes their guns with him. Rachel concludes the search, but reveals that she has just sent the division's archive to Alfie. However, due to a server mistake, the file is not sent. Rachel fights Ruth and Ritter, grabs her cat, and leaves. She reunites with Aiden and tells him about the secret trick that helped her shoot him without killing him. Rachel earns his trust, and together they decide to fight Ritter's entire army and send the archive to Alfie at any cost. They make an impressive exit and start killing the guards one by one. Working as one unit, they use colorful smoke bombs to blindside their enemies and then eliminate them. Their battle looks more like a dance, but a very dangerous and bloody one. There is no doubt that Aiden and Rachel both enjoy the process and each other's company. The sparks fly between them, just like the bullets, and Rachel and Aiden give their best performance ever. After they get rid of dozens of henchmen and continue on their way, Ritter sends his goon named Carlos to stop them. Carlos and his people engage in a gunfight with Rachel and Aiden, but they cannot use their guns anymore due to a huge amount of crude oil spilled all over the floor. So, everyone has to continue the fight with knives. The floor is super slippery, but Rachel recalls her amazing ice skating skills and emerges ready for a new battle. She puts on a real show, gracefully skating on the crude oil and taking down Carlos's goons. She confronts numerous henchmen and fights them alone, all while playfully flirting with Aiden. She skillfully dispatches most of Carlos's people, and he invites her to a one-on-one duel. In a dangerous dance of life and death, Rachel emerges as the winner, throwing her knife directly into Carlos's chest. She takes the gun and eliminates all the guards in the room. They run to the server room to contact Alfie, but Ritter takes control and pursues them with his gun. Ritter ambushes the couple in the server room and threatens to kill them, but Alfie arrives to the rescue. The cat attacks Ritter, furiously scratching his face and distracting him while Aiden grabs his gun and kills Ritter. Rachel and Aiden find themselves on a massive ship and decide to use the satellite to manipulate the server system and contact Alfie. They succeed, and Alfie finally receives the message. While Alfie is uploading the archive, Ruth employs her hypnosis techniques to manipulate Rachel and control her mind. Ruth forces Rachel to fight Aiden, and Aiden must fight back to save his life. As Rachel beats Aiden, he tries to figure out how to bring her back to her senses. For a brief moment, it seems like Rachel is okay again, but Ruth employs her hypnosis trick once more. Rachel aggressively attacks Aiden and nearly knocks him out, prompting him to fight back. However, he realizes he cannot harm or kill her, so he continuously reminds her of his love while Rachel continues to brutally assault him. She throws him to the ground and prepares to finish him off, but suddenly stops. She finally recalls her feelings for Aiden and the happy moments they shared. Sadly, it does not work, but someone knocks Ruth out, and Rachel instantly regains her senses. The person who saved them is none other than their old friend and colleague Kara. Together, they leave the ship and head back to safety. Rachel and Aiden finally share a kiss, which feels more romantic and impressive than any scene from Rachel's books. Sometime later, Rachel publishes her final book about Argylle, which becomes a tremendous success. All the good guys receive their happy endings. Rachel herself leads a fulfilled life with Aiden and Alfie. Suddenly, a man who looks exactly like Argylle from Rachel's visions stands up and tells her that he has something to share. What on earth is happening in the world of spies?